The American personal savings rate in 2026 is approximately 4.8%. 4.8%. Of every dollar Americans earn, 4 cents and 8/10 of a cent gets saved. The rest gets spent, and the conventional explanation is always the same. Americans do not save because they lack discipline. They spend too much on restaurants and streaming services and shoes and things they do not need. Here is what that explanation gets wrong. The average American household with a $75,000 income has approximately $750 left at the end of the month after paying housing, transportation, insurance, and loans. $750 for groceries, utilities, clothing, phone, subscriptions, entertainment, emergencies, and savings. You cannot discipline your way to a 15% savings rate when your fixed costs are consuming 84% of your take-home pay. The savings problem in America is not a discipline problem, it is a structure problem, and today we run the math that proves it. What is up? This is Real Money Math, the channel that runs the numbers nobody wants to run. Hit subscribe if you are new. We have spent the last 9 videos running the numbers on the salary gap, car costs, housing, student loans, credit card debt, and the middle class math problem. Today we pull all of it together. The reason Americans cannot save money is not coffee. It is not avocado toast. It is not a failure of personal responsibility. It is the structure of fixed costs in modern American life combined with the way most people approach saving, which is backward. Today, the savings rate math, the structure problem, the pay yourself first framework, and the automation system that actually works. Let us get into it. Let me start with the number. The United States personal savings rate in 2026, approximately 4.8%. That means for every $100 Americans earn, $4.80 gets saved. $95.20 gets spent. For context, China, approximately 30%. Germany, approximately 17%. Canada, approximately 8%. United States, 4.8%. The lowest among major developed economies. Now here's the math of what that 4.8% actually produces over a lifetime. On a $75,000 gross salary, 4.8% savings rate, approximately $300 per month saved. $300 per month for 30 years at 7% real return, approximately $366,000. The recommended savings rate for retirement security is 15% of gross income. On a $75,000 salary, 15% is approximately $938 per month. $938 per month for 30 years at 7%, approximately $1,144,000. The gap between the average American savings rate and the recommended savings rate measured in retirement wealth, approximately $778,000. That $778,000 gap is not explained by willpower, it is explained by structure. Here's the structure problem. Most Americans save whatever is left at the end of the month. Income comes in, bills get paid, things get bought. Whatever remains, if anything remains, goes to savings. This is called paying yourself last, and here is why it fails mathematically. Let me show you the fixed cost structure of a typical American household earning $75,000. Gross monthly income, $6,250. After taxes, FISA, and minimal 401k, take home approximately $4,750 per month. Fixed monthly costs, rent or mortgage for a 1 or 2 bedroom, $2,200. Car payment and insurance, $900. Student loans, $500. Health insurance employee share, $400. Total fixed costs, $4,000 per month. Take home after fixed costs, $750. $750 left for groceries, utilities, phone, internet, subscriptions, clothing, medical copays, emergency fund, dining, entertainment, gifts, travel, and savings. If you are disciplined and spend conservatively on all of those, you might save $100 to $200 per month. That is 2 to 3% of gross income, below the national average of 4.8%, and far below the recommended 15%. This is not a character flaw. This is the math of the fixed cost structure. Housing costs have risen faster than wages. Healthcare costs have risen faster than wages. Student loan burdens have increased. Car costs have increased. The structural squeeze on American household budgets leaves very little room for the discretionary discipline that most savings advice assumes people have. The problem is not that Americans choose not to save. The problem is that the system is designed so that saving is what happens last, after every other obligation is met, rather than first. Let me address the conventional explanation directly. The most famous piece of savings advice in personal finance: cut out your daily latte and you will be rich. $6 a day, $180 a month, over 30 years at 7%, approximately $220,000. That is real money, I am not dismissing it. But here is the problem with the latte argument. The household with $4,000 in fixed costs on $4,750 in take-home does not have a latte problem. They have a structural problem. If they give up every latte, every restaurant meal, every streaming subscription, every non-essential purchase, they free up perhaps $300 to $400 per month. That is a meaningful improvement, but it still leaves them far short of the 15% target, and the behavioral research is consistent. People who are told to cut small pleasures to save money do not sustain the behavior. The willpower required to constantly deny yourself small enjoyments depletes. Life happens. Habits revert. The latte is not the problem. The structure is the problem, and structure is solved with systems, not willpower. Here is the framework that actually works. It is called pay yourself first. Instead of saving what is left after spending, you save a fixed amount the moment income arrives. Before any bill is paid, before any purchase is made, the savings move automatically. You spend what remains. The psychology is completely different. When you pay yourself last, you are trying to save money after your brain has already seen it, mentally spent it, and attached it to existing obligations. When you pay yourself first, the money never enters your spending account. Your brain adjusts to spending what is available, which is your income minus your savings. This is not a new idea. It is the mechanism behind every effective workplace retirement plan. Your 401k contribution comes out before you see your paycheck. You adjust your spending to what arrives in your account. Pay yourself first works because it removes the decision. You do not decide every month whether to save. You decided once. The system executes every month. Here's what the math looks like for Sarah. Sarah earns $75,000 a year. Take home approximately $4,750 per month. Pay yourself first, 15% of gross. 15% of $75,000, $11,250 per year. Monthly, $938. Sarah sets up an automatic transfer on payday. $938 goes directly to her Roth IRA and her high-yield savings account. She never sees it. It never enters her checking account. She lives on $3,812 per month. Is that tight? Yes. Does it require adjustments to her fixed cost structure? Yes. Is it possible on a $75,000 income? Yes. $938 per month for 30 years at 7%. Approximately $1,144,000. The discipline required: one decision. Set up the automatic transfer. Done. Let me give you the exact system. Step 1. Calculate 15% of your gross monthly income. This is your savings target. If 15% feels impossible right now, start with 5% and increase by 1% every 6 months. Step 2. Set up automatic transfers on payday, not the day after payday, on payday, before you can see the money and mentally allocate it elsewhere. Where does the money go? First, to your 401k up to the employer match, deducted from paycheck automatically. Second, to a Roth IRA, automatic monthly contribution. Third, to a high-yield savings account for your emergency fund, automatic transfer. Fourth, to additional 401k if you have room, automatic paycheck deduction. Step 3. Set your fixed costs to use what remains. If your fixed costs currently consume all of your take-home, the structure needs to change before the savings rate can improve. This is the hard part. Not cutting lattes, not skipping dinners, addressing the big 3 fixed costs: housing, transportation, debt. If your housing is above 30% of take-home, the savings math is nearly impossible until that changes. Either increase income or reduce housing costs. If your car costs exceed 15% of take-home, the same problem applies. The path to a 15% savings rate runs through the big fixed costs, not through lattes. Step 4. Automate everything and review once a year. The system runs itself. You review annually to increase contribution percentages as your income grows. The goal is to make saving the default action rather than the result of monthly willpower. Americans do not save money at the recommended rate because the system is designed for them to fail. Saving comes last. Fixed costs come first. And the fixed cost structure of modern American life leaves very little room for the savings that come last. The solution is not more discipline. The solution is a different structure. Pay yourself first. Automate the transfer. Fix the big fixed costs. Review once a year. The calculator in the description lets you run your own numbers. Enter your income, your fixed costs, and your savings target. See exactly how much you need to free up and which fixed cost changes have the biggest impact. Share this with someone who feels like they should be saving more but cannot figure out where the money goes. The answer is usually structural, not behavioral. Next video, the emergency fund math, how much is actually enough, what account it should be in, and the math behind the standard 3 to 6 month rule. Hit subscribe, new video every week. I will see you in the next one.